Hey guys, what's going on? It's Goldguin here, and today we are going to be doing a hard mode run of the very first dungeon in Guardians of Ember. You can see here I'm picking one of the two difficulties, either easy or hard, I guess. There's only two so far. And then right here at the bottom you can see that these are the additional gear options that I can acquire throughout the dungeon, whether it be through the normal mobs or the end mobs or the chests at the end, all sorts of different things like that. So going right into it, mobs as soon as I enter. This was actually the hardest pack in the dungeon. There was a range character in there. You see the archer hitting me, and he was tearing me up. You can look at my health. It's that globe in the bottom left. I'm already down to about half from that one pull. So this kind of worried me. But I did get an item off of it. That's a 2H sword that requires level 6. At the start of this, I'm level 5. I do hit 6 halfway through it. You can see my blue EXP bar down at the bottom. So going into the second group, a little bit easier. No range characters here. So I'm looking forward to getting that level 6 weapon though, because it helps me complete the rest of the dungeon. It's about double the damage of the weapon that I'm using. But to go over my abilities, kind of let you know what I'm doing, I'm sure you can see most of this is kiting right now. So down in the bottom left there on my action bar, my left click, which is the first thing, that purple icon down at the bottom, it's this orb that I'm throwing out. You can see it right here, and it's bouncing, and it'll bounce to mobs, it'll bounce to different things, objects in the room, destructibles, and things like that. So it hits every single enemy, and then in addition to that, I have a talent in it where it will also give the chance to slow the enemies by 35%. So this is why you can see I'm trying to utilize kiting as much as I can in here, still getting more loot. Now taking a look at my second ability, which I've been using quite a bit, is that orange circle. It's my right click and it's my resource spender. So this game is really similar to Diablo in the sense that you have resource generators and resource spenders. You could kind of say that it works very similarly to the Demon Hunter, because your resource passively generates over time, but as I use my left click, I gain it quicker, and then as I use my right click, I expend it. So you can see it's that yellow orb I'm throwing down on the ground. After a couple seconds, or after 1 second rather, it'll explode, and when it does, it damages everything in a big area around it, but it also has a chance to heal me. So I spec'd into that. There are different specializations that you can get into the game to amplify your skills, sort of like talent trees in WoW, where, like I said, with my left click, I have amplified it so that it can now slow enemies. With my right click, I have it so that it'll also heal me. So I think I just hit level 6 there. Yeah, I did. And I equipped my 2H sword that I got at the beginning of the dungeon, and this increased my damage quite a bit. Now, if I understand the game correctly so far, your weapon damage, even for me, and I'm playing as a cleric right now, or a priest, whatever the healing class is, your damage is based off of your weapon damage, which is similar to Diablo. And as this is a 2H sword, and the slower the weapons generally, the harder they hit, the harder base damage. So this is kind of the same idea in like Diablo 3, when a lot of wizards would use 2H weapons because it would make their abilities hit harder. They would cast them, they would have a longer cast time or a longer attack speed with these abilities. They'd be able to throw them out less frequently, but when they did hit, they'd hit for a lot. And at lower levels in this game, 2Hs tend to be the way to go. Mobs do actually hit pretty hard, so unless you find a really good one-handed weapon like I just got here, you're probably going to want to stick with the 2H because it blows the enemies up, typically before they can even get to you. All you got to do is get, 2 hits off and they're dead. If I have a 1H, it's going to take 3 or 4, and by that time they're on me, I'm taking damage. Now there are potions you can see on my queue, down on my hotbar. There are potions. They are different from Diablo 3 though. They are a hot, so it heals you for a certain amount over time, so you do have to be a little proactive with that. And like you saw in the first pack in the dungeon, if you get caught out, if you get caught in a bad position, if you get surrounded, or if you pull too many enemies, you can go down really quickly. So This is the last room in the dungeon. The boss is on the right side of the room. There are sort of elite enemies in this game. Now, keep in mind, this is an MMO. This is not Diablo 3. This is not an ARPG. It is an MMO. So you have these elite enemies similar to WoW. They're just stronger. They don't have affixes like most ARPGs do, but they do have more HP and they do hit harder and they drop better loot. So this was the end of the dungeon. You see my treasure chest thing pop up. Unfortunately, I don't have any keys. It says that you can obtain keys through different means in the game, but I've also heard that you can buy them with real life money. So I guess in order to determine how bad that is, I would have to get a little further into the game and see exactly how I obtain those keys. But I got some nice boots off, definitely an upgrade, so I'm going to throw those on. Like I said, I'm thinking that those items that I was shown at the beginning of the dungeon were going to be some of the things that were going to come out of that chest. But this game does have regular chests like this one you can see here. I haven't encountered a bad chest yet, so I'm assuming that even these small chests kind of function like the resplendent ones in Diablo 3. They've always given me a green or a blue, so those are always good to look out for. So all in all, I ended up with like 3 blues out of this dungeon. I'm not complaining. It's the first one of the game. It was pretty cool. It was hard mode, but it wasn't that difficult. Again, it is the first one. And once you get out of there, you get this nice little cutscene. This was for a quest, but you can repeat this for additional experience, additional rewards, and loot and things like that. But it was for a quest, so I'm getting a little bit of lore afterwards now. And that's pretty much it. So right now, I'm really enjoying the game. If you guys want to see more, I will definitely be taking a more in-depth look at the game in the upcoming days. So thanks for watching, guys.